So there's this new poll by Granite State, and it shows New Hampshire voters are siding with Ron DeSantis over Trump in a head-to-head matchup for the presidential nomination. As you see the numbers there on the screen, DeSantis pulling 39% of the vote, with Trump at 37%. Either way, it's still pretty close there. Very interesting new numbers out. And joining us to discuss a bit of this and more is our panelist, the columnist at The Hill and author of The Liberal Invasion of Red State, Kristin Tate, with us today. Also here, Daily Caller reporter Chrissy Clark, and Jack Brewer, the CEO of the Brewer Group and retired NFL captain. Guys, great to have you with me today. Thank you.
Thanks
Great
for
to be with you.
Thanks.
All right, let's start off with these numbers here. Chrissy, what do you make of this poll here that DeSantis polls ahead? Do you read anything into this? We are a little ways out from 2024, but DeSantis has been pretty clear. You know, he hasn't asked for Trump's nomination, endorsement. What do you think of this close but still a win for the poll there?
Again, this is very far out, this actual election, but I think coupled with Georgia, a key state, not going in favor of President Trump's nominations and his picks, and Ron DeSantis shining outside of the state of Florida, does go to show me that maybe Trump's message of rehashing the 2020 election is not resonating with Republican voters, and that Republicans are looking for something a little different. The other thing, too, that Trump's battling, while he may not act nearly as old as Joe Biden does, I think it's difficult to kind of parse the two arguments together, that we want some young blood in the parties or in the White House, while simultaneously asking for a man who is simply almost the same age as Joe Biden.
Yeah, and it's a good note there about Trump-backed candidates who have lost recently. In Georgia, Jake Evans defeated by Dr. Richard McCormick. And so we have this situation here where, DeSantis, and obviously DeSantis has been very successful with relaying his message, especially during COVID and not locking down the state. So, Kristin, do you think that he also had a win there with his economic policies for the state of Florida, which is seeing huge migration and people moving to the state?
Of course, DeSantis is winning on every front. He has a proven track record of success at this point. I think Trump has a very important role to play in the GOP, but I actually hope he doesn't run in the next presidential election, mostly because he actually mobilizes voters on the left more than he mobilizes voters on the right. Left-wingers and Democrats despise Trump, and it almost doesn't matter who the Democrats run in 2024. If the Republicans run Trump, all the Democrats are going to go out and vote just to vote against Trump. So the GOP needs someone who can breathe new life into the party, who has all of the upsides of Trump, like that fighting spirit, and someone who's fearless without the downsides. Trump has that narcissism. He didn't have great follow through, and he is stuck on 2020. And voters don't want to hear about 2020 anymore. Republicans win when they run on the issues. So, Trump has an important role to play. He should go out there and be doing rallies and support whoever is the nominee, but I hope he doesn't run.
It's an interesting, obviously the GOP and who could, be the strongest candidate. Jack, I know you're in Florida. What do you think of DeSantis, not just the numbers here, but, him maybe being the new face and, a stronger candidate, as Kristin just mentioned, not mobilizing the left?
Hey, I've been next to Governor DeSantis on some pretty strong legislation here in Florida, and I will always have his back. If he declares that he's running for president and he wants me to help him, I will be doing that. I'll be out front. But I think President Trump does have a lot of value, and I think this is a time for him to maybe reevaluate some of the folks that he's aligned himself with. I think some of the elections, like Dr. Oz, and some of these other endorsements where he is endorsing people that really aren't about the Trump doctrine. They're really not aligning with him politically. But I think the politics have become a little bit of a business for him. And I think he should maybe reconsider that. If I had to give him any advice, it would be to really look at the folks around him, because I think there are some people who are deeply embedded into the Republican Party that are truly the establishment. I think we have some woke Republicans that now have trickled into the Donald Trump world. And I think that's backfiring now. And I think that's what this poll is showing the American people.
So we have just about a minute left. I do want to get your reaction, panel, real quick. If you could just give me a quick sentence here. MSNBC host Joy Reid, as interviewed by The Root, when asked about Kamala Harris's low approval ratings, she went on this diatribe, but basically part of the quote that I'll read here is, most of the media is still white and male, and their take on Harris becomes the take. So basically, Kamala Harris is getting bad numbers because of a white male media. It's an interesting comment here, as we always get something from Joy Reid. Jack, first to you, and then we'll just do a quick soundbite from each one of you.
Obviously, the American people, most of them can hear, and they hear the words that come out of Kamala Harris's mouth. And so for Joy Reid, everything is black and white. And she lives in this race-baiting world. That's the only reason why she's been able to maintain her job and keep her popularity is because she strokes the flame of racism really on the liberal side. And, she is the one that encourages black racism. And I think this needs to come to an end. Absolutely ridiculous.
Just about out of time, but I do want to get Chrissy and Kristin's reaction. So real quick, just one or two words if you had to say anything about Joy Reid on that.
Well, I think
it amazes.
Kristin. I was just going to say, as females, I think that, it doesn't matter what your skin color is or what your, identity status is. Regardless, I think I speak for the both of us when I say you look at someone like Kamala Harris, and it doesn't matter whether we're women or not. We don't agree with her policy, and that's the end of it. We don't like her for that reason, not because of her skin color or her race.
All right, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm getting a wrap cue here. Kristin, we'll get your reaction when you guys join us in the second hour. Great to have you with us, and we'll continue our conversation. Thank you.